Lots of legal advice over here. That's why I sit so close.
Me.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't thinking about that one. I didn't. I'll change that.
It's nice to do that every now and then. Weather is decent.
Ready to get started? All right, start with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
David, would you all?
Sure. Heavenly Father, we come to you today asking you to watch over this meeting, watch over our county employees as they go about their duties through this week, and help this commission to make decisions that would be according to your will. In Jesus' name, amen.
All right, so my last thing as chair is to make a motion that we approve last week's minutes.
I'll second it.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor? All right.
Aye.
And now we turn over the chair to Jim Johnson.
Yes, technically, you need a vote.
You need a vote?
I've got a couple of motions prepared. One to nominate Jim as the chair for this year, and then a second one to nominate Danny as the vice chair.
Okay, my motion is to, I make a motion that we nominate Jim Johnson as chair for this year.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'll make a motion we approve, make a motion we
Nominate.
nominate Danny, thank you, as our vice chair for this year.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And then I've got several things for you to get started today. First thing would be next week, Monday is a holiday, so we need a motion to reschedule the regular meeting to Tuesday. It's Martin Luther King Day.
I'll make a motion that we reschedule next week's meeting to Tuesday.
I'll second.
Been a motion made and seconded to change our meeting day to Tuesday at 9 a.m. because of holiday. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, and then there's the bills for the week.
Make a motion that we pay the bills in the amount of $266,020.01.
I'll second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded that we pay the bills. All in favor?
Aye.
Then I have some adds and abates. And I did go through and run a listing on that. The net change is a positive $1,101.92.
We just make a motion to approve these add and abates as stated on here.
Numbers 83 through 90.
I make a motion that we approve these add and abates 83 through 95.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we pay the add and abates, or change the add and abates
83 through 95.
Yes,
83 through 95.
yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, then I have the sheriff's monthly fee report. In the amount of $13,372. Approval.
We're just making approval for this.
You accept, motion to accept the report, yeah.
We're just making a motion to accept the report from the sheriff for the fees of $13,372. Been moved and seconded to accept the sheriff's report. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I have the park report, which goes through the whole year.
Let's see, park report, total receipts for the year is $294,531.29. And the expenditures is $258,515.47.
Hey, I got a question. Hey, Sean. For so long, we were way down. Did something get changed on this? The way we were reporting?
Not that I'm aware of, I'd have to check to see where the hay leases and the other items, how those things got entered in, or I'm unaware that anything's changed, but
The hay leases, I don't think we put in there. We did put in the rental on that cabin.
Okay.
Behind.
Okay.
Helped a little bit.
All right.
But the expense part has been down some during this time of year.
Why is that? Not now, but I'll get with you after this.
as far as the expenses,
Yeah.
I think part of that's going to be salary, and I'm not as sure what the other expenses would have been. I'll have to take a look at it.
I mean, there's quite a drop from in December. You got like a $10,000 difference in expenditures in December.
You seeing that, Rick? 10,000.
Right down there on December, total 9,000.
Oh, 9,000 now, from 19 down to 9?
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
And all the way across, it just seems, that's good. I just wondered why.
It just started
I'll
dropping. And
try to get with Sherry and figure that out and get you an
It's
answer.
a good thing because we were worried about it earlier on this year.
This was a report the sheriff sent out, I think, late last week with numbers for the year. I do not, at least yet, have anything on weekly numbers from it.
You got to sign it.
How do you turn it on silent?
what else do you have, David? Anything?
The only other thing is I have an email from Doug. He is not able to be here today. He actually injured himself last week. But he called me this morning and then sent this email. There's a training on operation-based exercise in Wichita at the end of March. This is a training that was approved last fall, but then it was canceled at that time due to COVID cases. It's rescheduled, and he would like to get permission for himself and Linda to attend that training. And he put on here, the state will provide lodging, so the only cost will be fuel and food. And there's some
It's been approved. We have to approve it again, or?
Since it was canceled, it's probably a good idea to go ahead and approve resubmitting it, re-signing up for it.
Does have any discussion on it? I make a motion to approve Doug and Linda to be able to go to their training.
No, sir.
It's been moved and seconded and approved to go to their, Doug and Linda to go to their training. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so I think that is all I've got for now. I did put on the agenda to tour the building at 10, so if that works out for scheduling.
30 minutes, I guess.
Can I read those numbers or you read those?
You want to read them?
Hey, I want to read end of year sheriff's numbers because I think it's interesting for what we're doing and where we're going. Inmates booked into the Linn County Jail as of the entire year, as reported by the sheriff, is 372, 289 males and 83 females. And I think the females are sent somewhere else, as I understand.
Not always.
Not always? Okay.
We've got a way to segregate some of them.
So total inmate meals that prepared for by the jail, and they do it very efficiently, is 19,710 meals. They did VIN checks, inspections of 1,000, and they got 999, but 1,000 rounded up. Over there, that's where if a vehicle's bought out of state or not up to par or whatever, they go over there and they check for VIN number. They did 4,556 traffic stops total, and Linn County Sheriff's Office did 1,854. Lacine Police Department 304. Linn Valley Police Department 1,525. Pleasanton 708. Parker 3. Mound City 29. And they served 1,163 civil service papers were served on them out of 1,915 attempts. And I would guess that's when they went out there and they weren't there and they had to go back or whatever.
Right.
And currently, new cases open 1,301, cases closed 939, 286 vehicle crashes, and Danny had 295 times his livestock was out. And that's about it. So I just wanted to read that as the end of the year. It's kind of interesting. And
All you have, David?
I think that's it for now, anyway.
That's you, Gary.
I've got a couple things, but you might want to go.
Okay.
Go first.
River City, you want to come in?
City construction weekly update. This week, we'll have some good weather. Hopefully we'll get back outside, get some paving done on the east end. The roofers due back to do the cap flashing. I can get the cap flashing on, that'll complete the roof. We're in the dry, but the cap flashing, is the last step. Interior wise, drywall is pretty much hung and taped. We're into the painting processes, the finishing, ceramic tiles going into bathrooms. We're doing, starting drop-in ceiling grids in some of the rooms. As far as the jail cell in, Poly Jail's due back today. We're gonna start security ceilings in the secure rooms. We're gonna swing your security doors, so that we can continue on with the wiring of the security doors. A lot of control work there. Mechanical wise, they're wrapping up. Plumbing's getting close. We're working on back of cells, doing all the tie-ins there. We kind of let that work go to get the above ceiling work done, but we're picking up on that. Electrician has a lot of tie-ins there as well, but we're pushing hard. We did get the preliminary drawing on your parking lot redo because you're going to keep the annex. We're meeting Wednesday with the subs involved to discuss the scope changes, if there's quantity changes or not, things like that. One thing I want to mention that didn't get addressed there, that you might want to think about. Originally, this building was going away, so your overhead service and your transformers on that pole that we're not going to relocate would have come off. But now that you're going to save this building, with the redesign of your parking over here, that overhead service to this building comes right through the middle of it. So I don't know if that's a problem or not. If you want to put it underground, we need to do it before we put the parking lot in. If you don't, we'll leave it. But I just want to bring that up before we get to that work. That's the same one we've been talking about.
Well, it's a little different. We had originally talked about the line running from the street to the street.
Right.
That way. And we decided we didn't want to pay the cost of moving that pole. I think we do need probably to bury that phone line because it's a lot lower. And so that's one issue. But this one comes from the pole to this building.
The lower line on this one there.
There's
There's a phone line coming down the alley. That's the first one he's talking about. We can bury that one, then all you would have is your overhead high voltage lines.
And
But
it's a lot
you
higher.
have transformers and service feeding this building that's low, and it'll come right, you can see it, it comes right through this new design, so.
Is that something we can check out when we go on this walkthrough? Or?
Yeah, we can look at it, the walkthrough.
You'll probably want to bury that though, because that's going to be low hanging right over that parking lot. And that just not only aesthetically is not pleasing, but it could create problem. People driving that parking lot with something tall and catching it. And
Yeah, it's,
anyway, but we don't have a price on doing it.
no, we haven't, that was not included in that change of the parking lot, so, in the redesign. But we can handle that separate if you choose to do it, so.
Well, I gave Rick a copy of the plan on the parking lot. I don't know if you want to look at that now or later, but the first page shows the original plan, and you see where this building is superimposed where it was going to come down. You see that to the south of then the second page shows the new plan, and it shows this building still there, and then shows the parking lot extended to the west. And it looks to me like it's almost as many spaces, as,
Well, I think there is, but, you're going almost all the way, you are going all the way to that storage building where my office trailer is.
right, we're parking right up against the front of that storage
Oh.
building. But I think we intended to possibly keep that storage building just for our use anyway, so, access is not a big issue, but, and this will also give us an exit on Main Street.
Correct.
As opposed to before, we only exited from Third Street.
Over here.
Uh-huh.
You see any other problems with any materials coming? Anything?
Materials haven't been a big problem. We have a few issues here and there. We're looking at lighting fixtures, trying to nail all the delivery down on that. Right now, the big problem is sickness. I mean, it's bad. We're running short on every crew. Even their offices have sick people. So I don't know if it's COVID or if it's flu or what, but there's a lot of people out. The control people have 70 electricians in St. Louis and 30 are out. So it's tough. The iron workers that were due here today, he called me Friday, he said, my guys are sick. I can't guarantee you I'll have guys for Monday. So, we'll see what he come up with, but it's the bricklayer, half his crew's been out. We got some people back today that have been out 3 weeks on the bricklayer. So, and they'll continue the stone on the exterior this week. So that the weather is going to cooperate there. So that'll help. But yeah.
Or is on schedule before? I mean.
Yeah, I mean, we're still pushing schedule. Again, we had 40 weather days and we have manipulated the schedule to keep subs on track for our end date. If things get tight, they're going to start screaming that we didn't give them any weather days. So we'll have some battles, but it's going to be tight. We're going to be right down to the wire. Every job is. That's the nature of it. But we'll continue to push hard.
You have any questions, Rick?
In terms of your question on materials, there's one other thing you didn't mention, that about the only thing that's not come in is the lockers.
Correct. Which is your run-of-the-mill standard lockers, not your lockers for your security or your weapons and things like that. Just your normal everyday lockers. They're giving us an April, I don't remember the exact day, but it's
April
8th.
18th is what they
Yeah,
got
it's
down for.
like mid-April. For whatever reason, we can't get them.
It's strange because there's something that should be readily available.
Yeah, you would think the special order lockers would be the problem, but it's not. It's a regular one. But,
And just a couple other things I'll just toss out here while you're here. There is an issue that you'll need to make a decision on. There's a situation in there where some interior windows between one part of the building and another part, they got a window in a place where they ended up putting a bathroom. So you've got a bathroom with a window.
it's an exterior wall, actually. It's on the sheriff's
Oh, it's an
wall.
exterior window.
Yeah.
Okay, so you
There's
got
an extra window on the north elevation that didn't get caught till we were measuring for window sills.
And so your options are to either tear that out, which is of course the most
Let's look at.
We've got three options.
option to tear it out or to replace the glass with something that's translucent, that you can't see through, or to cover the glass with a film of some type.
There is another option. We could drywall completely over the window on the inside. You wouldn't know there's a window there. The exterior, you wouldn't know any different. So
Okay.
that's another option. I've seen that done in the past.
Okay. So we'll just need to talk about it. You look at it when you're over there.
Okay. Thank you, Bill.
Uh-huh.
AMR?
Good morning.
How are you?
So far for the month of January, we're at 16 transports, which is pretty well on track for how historically busy we usually are for January. A few notable things. Last week, we delivered the AED that Mound City had purchased to be in the public library and got that to the library for them to install it. I believe it's installed by the like by the checkout desk in the library. So that was purchased through AMR just because we have a significant lower costs for AEDs. We did last week for the funeral of the sheriff's officer that passed away. We coordinated with Hellstar One helicopter out at based in Overland Park to do a flyover to honor her at the cemetery, and coordinated that with the pilot and the crew, and they did a good job. And then we were able, if you recall, the compression device, the Lucas 3.0 compression device that we demonstrated a while back, we were able to put it in use for the first time on a patient. It didn't have the outcome that we would have liked, but it sure made a difference in terms of how the crew was able to manage the transport. It was a patient suffering respiratory failure that stopped breathing during transport, and the supervisor met up with the crew on their way to the hospital. And so they were able to have a whole nother set of hands freed up once the patient coded during transport to help manage her airway while the compression device did its work. So not the outcome that we hoped for, but it sure made a difference for the crew, feeling like they had better tools, better resources to give the patient a fighting chance. That's everything notable. I'm going to pass out the monthly report for the month of December and review that with you.
The new ambulance, it's in service and it's doing good. I mean, Centerville.
Yeah. Yeah, we haven't had much in the way of weather to give it a good test, but yeah, it's running well, and the supervisors are sure enjoying it. It's a good tool. So for the month of December, I'll just go by city by city. There were 2 calls and 1 transports that fell into areas that weren't assigned a particular city. Blue Mountain had 13 requests, 5 transports. 1 and 1 out of Centerville, 3 requests, 1 transport out of Fontana. 33 requests out of Lacine with 21 transports. Linn Valley had 4 requests, no transports. Mountain City had 19 requests with 13 transports. Parker had 8 requests and 2 transports. Pleasanton had 29 requests and 21 transports. Prescott had 5 and 4 transports. And for the total for the month, we had 117 requests and a total of 69 ambulance transports. Broken down by district, District 1 had 40 requests and 23 transports with an average response time of 9 minutes, 21 seconds. District 2 had 37 requests and 26 transports with an average response time of 8 minutes, 18 seconds. And District 3 had 39 total requests, 20 total transports with an average response time of 20 minutes, 20 seconds. And just to briefly review District 3, I was skews higher because it always has a supervisor vehicle assigned to a call and then a transporting ambulance from either Pleasanton or Lacine also assigned to the call. And so they both get a response time. And so that's just the average. So patients will always have a paramedic at their side rendering care much earlier than that average response time figure. All told, for the 116 requests, we had an average response time in the county of 12 minutes, 38 seconds. We were slated to have 1,488 ambulance unit hours in service, and we had 1,487, which put us at 99.9% in service staffed. And then it was a busy month for helicopter. There were 8 patients flown out. 2 of those fell into cardiac categories. Patients suspected of having heart attacks. 1 was a significant respiratory. Patient stopped breathing. 3 were significant MVCs. I think 1 was a a bad ATV wreck, and then I think 2 were rollover, patient ejected through the side window or things like that, pretty significant trauma. And then 2 were overdose or poisonings that were time critical. So that's it for the month of December. Any questions?
You have any, Danny? Okay, thank you.
You bet. Have a good week.
You too. I guess you come ahead, Missy.
Missy Lancaster, Health Department. I do not have much to report this week except COVID. Omicron, we found it in our county last Monday, so it is here. And we're already full in all of our appointments today, scheduling for tomorrow, and we cannot keep up. So, that's our,
There was a little bit of concern last week about us reporting our numbers. Could you elaborate on that, how we do that so everybody understands it would,
how we do it now.
yeah, the way we do it now?
The way we do it now is through KDHE website. There is a link on there and it breaks it down. It does not break it down by city, but it does by county. It is very hard to try to track numbers because of home testing. You know, they're not going to report themselves to the state. So,
And even before the way we was doing it, a lot of our information was coming from the state anyway, and we was just breaking it down into the cities, right?
right, or they would come late, other places that reported would maybe not fax their information, their positives, maybe till later on in the week. So they weren't always on time. So, I think the
So you
KDHE,
posted it on our website to where people.
it
can
is
go
on
to
there.
get the
It is
numbers.
on there.
Yeah, I looked this morning and also went on the KDHE website.
Could you find it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, because I've had some people tell me they couldn't find it, and I haven't been able to get on there yet and see. I was going to look this morning, but when I looked, I could see it last.
So I just want to talk about, and this is before you were here, obviously, when Tisha was here. We started originally doing this when COVID became a super big issue all over, including here. And so we went through the painstaking way of getting Doug to spend hours a day up till I think we released it on a Wednesday and posted our numbers, trying to correct whatever KDHE would have, because like you said, people test positive in different cities and stuff. It drifts back to
Right.
KDHE, but the numbers would be a little bit different and try to get everything adjusted. But the cost of that, and I don't know if we paid to have it put in the paper, if it was just put in the paper.
I
But
think it's been put in the paper since I started.
yeah, so it was for
But
the
it was
benefit of
always-
people. I know that people really wanted it. Certain people, groups of people really wanted to see it. But the cost of doing that each week, and based on just a few differences it's already done with KDHEs, and now with home testing, which we didn't have before, I can see why it makes a lot more sense. Just look on there, and it might be a little more troublesome right off the bat because it's a new website to the individuals looking at it. But
Basically the same numbers it was.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it was
Just-
coming from the KDHE before.
yeah, just a few different. And now, like Missy's was saying, that with all the home tests that are available to people, and they're buying them in cases even,
Yeah. I saw it.
that they're not. You probably are not going to report. Some are probably not going to report themselves as,
No, if they do a home test, they're not going to call
especially if they. Yeah,
themselves. They're probably going to call the health department and ask questions.
yeah.
Which we talked about last week. KDHE did adopt the 10-day, they decreased the quarantine. So now it's 5 days at home, 5 days back to work or school with a mask, as long as your symptoms are decreasing or you are asymptomatic. So,
I'm under the understanding now that you can fly to Mexico without a test. Do you know, have you heard that?
I have heard that international flight is testing within 24 hours. Stateside, it's 72 is what we've been getting. You can look on the,
It's still that way.
when I looked Friday, it was.
We still got free testing
Still have free testing. We're
by appointment only.
by appointment only, yes, because it is busy.
And the schools are still doing their testing or whatever they're
Schools,
doing?
yes, we met with them on Friday and they're still doing their testing. We had a meeting Friday about decreasing the quarantine down to 5 days and then letting them going back to school. I have to work on that this afternoon and they have a board meeting, I believe. One school has a board meeting tonight. I don't want to speak out of turn, but
Sure.
they're going to talk about going with the KDHE recommendations for
On the 5 day.
5 days. This is, yes, 5 days and 5 days.
Didn't you say Prairie View had something that they had to do a little different?
They do. They have to do it because they receive the funding from the state for their testing kits and an extra nurse. So
Okay.
I don't know a whole lot about that. Okay. So Jayhawk.
So if you're interested in COVID at your schools, and there's the upcoming board meetings will decide, make a decision on something, right?
Well, it depends. Some of them, the board has to make the motion and the decision to change their
Policy.
guidelines on what they're doing. Some they allow the school nurse to do.
Okay.
So it'll
Check with your schools.
yes, check with your schools.
Anything, Danny?
We did 45 tests last week. We had 9 positive that were vaccinated and 3 positive that were unvaccinated. So it has flipped with the Omicron.
So 12 out of the 45 was.
12 out of 45 were positive, and out of those 12, 9 had been vaccinated. So,
Okay.
While Melissa's still here, let me just remind you guys that you're supposed to be looking for members for this health advisory board. We haven't passed the resolution yet because we thought we'd get the board picked.
How long do you guys want as far as to come up with the members?
2 weeks. I'm still looking at people. I've got some.
How are we gonna pick our at-large member? What's?
I think we all bring names back, and then
Everybody bring, then we vote?
if you have an extra, yeah, and then make one.
The at-large is picked by a vote of the three of
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
But if we all bring one though, then what happens? I mean,
Then you'll have to, that's politics.
we
You'll have
all
to,
need to bring the large back too?
Yeah.
Okay,
I would.
okay.
Yeah.
We'll do it 2 weeks from today.
sounds good.
Be a 7-member board is what we're gonna do.
Right. Right.
What about bylaws? Will we write bylaws up for the?
We can draft bylaws if we need to. We have some operating guidance in the resolution itself. But we can draft bylaws if, when the board convenes, they feel bylaws would be helpful and necessary, we can do that.
And then we'll decide the length, let them decide the lengths of the
No,
terms? Or will we just-
that's all, that's in the,
But I mean, off of which people, I guess.
no, you guys will decide that when you appoint them. To begin with, everybody's going to serve 3 terms. To begin with, you'll appoint 2 people to a 1-year term, 2 people to a 2-year term, and 3 people to a 3-year term. And then when those terms expire, everybody will go back to a 3-year term then.
Okay.
So you'll make that decision when you appoint them.
Okay.
And I have a couple too that I'll let you guys know.
Yeah, if they're in one of our districts, just let us know.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they're both in, I think one is in Jim's, I know.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Missy.
Thank you.
We have a pay application. I just want to let you guys start thumbing through it and look at it, see any questions. Whenever you're ready, David's got it ready to approve, but that's not necessarily right now. I know you like to look at it ahead of time, so there it is.
Sean, how much do you have? You got quite a bit or?
No, I think we can get through it pretty quick.
Okay, we got to go there at 10:05, is that right?
But that's, I put that on the
Okay.
schedule, I mean,
Okay.
whatever works out.
Sean West, Public Works Administrator. We've got a planning and zoning meeting tomorrow night. I went and looked at Cabin 8 and have started the RFP on it. Should be done by next week, and I'll have that reviewed by legal. I have 2 burial permits. The first, BP 2022-02, Looks like it's going to be near 18720 Campbell Road. And both have been reviewed by the foremans.
It's this water line here. They both water lines?
Yes. The second BP 2022-01. Be at 5264 West 1600 Road.
Does it say which water district it was?
Anderson County, both of them for rural water one.
These are all that we've done and passed. There may be one or two coming up we'll talk about later.
I'm good. I'll make a motion.
Okay.
I make a motion that we approve BP 2022-01.
I'll second it. It's been moved and seconded that we accept the burial permit 2022-01 for a water line crossing. All in favor?
Aye.
I'll make a motion that we allow the burial permit for BP 2022-02.
I'll second it.
Been moved and seconded for 2022-02 burial permit. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. What else you got?
Last week, we had 2 NOTAMs issued due to weather at the airport. That system is working properly and well. Transfer station, the holiday schedule is out on the internet and posted. We'll have the sign up shortly at the transfer station. Noxious weeds, last week, both members took testing. I expect the test results probably by Wednesday or Thursday this week. And our maintenance personnel, our mechanic, I'm sorry, tested on Friday and passed all 4 of his written tests for a CDL and is moving on to the second phase of that training, which is, yes, he got all 4 within the first 5 days of his employment. So now he's moving on to his driver training and his in-cabin vehicle inspections. So he start that training this morning.
Did the holiday schedule work good at the landfill? Was everybody pleased? I mean, as far as,
I haven't heard any feedback from it yet, but I will check on it after we get the sign posted up. And
no, I mean, from Christmas and New Year's, I was just wondering, that's what I was wondering about.
that schedule worked out well, yes,
I was wondering. Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
And then as far as the website,
That big bill you're going to tell us about for the
the
tubes.
the website that you'd inquired about, Jessica was gone last week due to illness. I'm going to have to get with her to get you that information as far as the vendor list. And I was expecting today to bring you a culvert bid. I do not have the revised bid yet, but I will tell you from looking at the initials, those bids are going to be extremely high, and I can tell you why. And if you have any other questions about it when they get here, I'll go over it with you then. But as far as,
Did you get multiple bids?
yes,
How many did we order this time compared to normal? I know Rick said last time didn't order near as many as we did this time. I just wondered.
well, and that's what I've adjusted. We went back through and looked at how many we actually installed. We replaced 58 last year and installed 57 new culverts last year. So I got with the foremans, brought those numbers back down to reflect that from what we'd initially asked for. And the initial bids that I was looking at, the adjustments on just a 12-inch, 16-gauge galvanized 30-foot pipe last year would have been at $757 a linear foot. This year is going to be at, in some of the bids, over $1,584 a linear foot. When you're looking at the 36-inch diameter, last year that would have been $41.09 a linear foot. This year it's going to be $87.58 plus a linear foot. So we did readjust that bid because it made a drastic difference. That's why I'm not bringing it to you today, but I will bring it to you next week and we'll get that resolved. We were ordering 97 culverts instead of 155.
How many bids did we get on it, did you say?
I believe it was 4, but I'll make for sure.
Steel costs and everything's tremendous to what it was.
Yeah.
What kind of price reduction do we get ordering them all at once versus waiting, ordering for 6 months and then waiting for 6 to see what happens? I mean,
Well, and that's the mentality that I used when we cut it down, was order what we absolutely thought we'd have to have and see if the prices dropped by the time the need came around again.
Sean, it's a new year and a lot of people just never had to replace a culvert or whatever. Explain I know the policy, and I know you probably know the policy, I hope, on replacing culverts.
Well, initially, when someone calls in and advises us that they want to replace a culvert or a culvert's damaged, we'll send the shop foreman out to take a look at it. If the tubes are plugged, they're going to unplug the tubes. If the tube's damaged and can be repaired, they'll repair it. But if the tube needs replaced and it is a replacement, it is replaced at the county cost. The only cost to the landowner is for the initial tube, the first placement of that very first tube for a new driveway.
So if somebody wants a new driveway or a new entrance to a pasture and or whatever it is there a form they come in and fill out?
Yes, they'll come in here, fill out a driveway application or easement form, and the form will be sent out, take a look at it, judge what type of tube or entrance needs to be made on it, and then work with the landowner about the size and the entrance that's needed. Some larger vehicles
Right.
demand a larger tube entrance. So after that's done, then the tube's set in place, and then the owner pays whatever cost.
And that's for life, basically.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Once it's in, it's ours to replace after that.
Okay.
And for today, that's all I have for you here. I do need 5 minutes executive session for non-elected personnel with myself and Morgan present.
Non-elective personnel?
Correct.
You guys got anything else? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Morgan, you gonna give a brief? I think you should. About your, thank you. Step up there. Because he's trying to get out of it.
I like speaking in front of people.
She had that too.
So Saturday we had a job fair. Countywide, we had 8 vendor booths there, including the county.
How many?
8.
8.
It was a really good turnout, a lot more turnout than we thought we were going to have. We ended up having about 6 interviews afterwards for correctional officers and then about 4 for dispatch. We collected
Wow.
quite a bit of applications for public works, so we're just going to kind of weed through those, see who's qualified enough for those positions. Otherwise, it was a really good turnout. Everybody had people at their booths almost the whole time.
So what were some of the other, so we were 1, what's the other 7 or whatever?
So Sugar Valley was there, Landmark Bank, Trico, Apple Bus, the city of Lacine was there, and of course we had our public works and the sheriff's office, and then I was just kind of roaming around. We did have Kansas Works there out of Pittsburgh. We had a lady come down from Chanute and kind of help everybody sign in. They provided signage for us, and they also did a lot of our advertising. Kansas Works is something I'm going to utilize. It's free of charge. It's a government funded. So that if we want another job fair, they'll take everything on. We just tell them who we want involved, and they'll get that taken care of for us. They provide all the signs in the road. They'll send people down to work it with us. They provide reimbursement for trainings, and this is again all free of charge. So we would just provide some paperwork to them monthly, and they'll reimburse us up to $5,000 per new hire for any trainings we send them off to. We can freely charge or put jobs on their sites free of charge. So it's something that we're going to utilize. But out of this job fair, they helped us a lot with all of that.
So you feel like it's successful?
I do feel like it was successful.
Will you do it again?
Yes, we plan on trying to have one April, to another one to get maybe the seniors out of the high school who are getting ready to graduate and try and get them to come and see what is out there if they don't feel like college is their way to go.
Good.
Yeah, but that's all I have.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot.
David, I got a question for you. Are we doing Government Day this year?
I assume we will, but I have not heard anything from Legion yet. Have you?
Is that who puts it together?
Yeah, well, they work with us to put it together, but we typically wait on them for a date and what they want to do, so I don't know.
Okay.
Anybody else have any legal time? Or?
I need some executive session time for legal. If they want 5, maybe add another 10 for me, and then if we don't get done, we can do some later.
10 minutes legal for Gary. I'll make a motion. We go into executive session for 5 minutes with Sean for non-elected personnel and 10 minutes for legal with Gary.
Second.
Moved and seconded. It's been 15 minutes in executive session. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
If you're through with that pay request, I'll take it back if everybody looked at it.
Like up there on the right, there's the bottom.
Well, there's no action, executive session, so. You gals have something for us?
You gonna go on the tour?
We're gonna go on a tour with us.
That's where hard at.
We're gonna recess and move over there
Do it.
for 30 minutes or whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes, and we'll be back.
Sure, Beth. Come on.
You can leave us.
You just had to put me on the spot though.
Well,
Like,
you know about.
I know, I tried to, I just get nervous. What can I say? I'm all for it.
Yeah. Didn't really need a coat there at the end.
Oh, I thought about taking my shirt off.
I just wanted to take out the damn hat. I'm not gonna do that.
I guess we're back. Does anybody else have anything?
You got something going on.
Oh, 11 o'clock, I guess we did, don't we, as far as the soil conservation? I forgot that.
I know.
You want to take a break till 11?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
If you want to approve your pay request, you can do that. That's,
Got that big one,
yeah, this one here.
and that's coming up.
It's been made now. It needs to be approved
Today?
probably needs to be approved today. It's $1,430,557.22.
Are you okay with it? I mean, approving it or voting on it or whatever? Okay. Where's David at? Are you filling in for David?
I think David had to make a stop, but he's on the way.
Well, wait till David gets back.
Nah, you write it down. I'll make a motion that we pay what is it called?
It's the
Pay
pay request number 16.
request number 16 in the amount of,
$1,430,557.22.
this is on the Justice Center. That's my motion.
I'll second it. It's been moved and seconded that we make payment number 16 on the Justice Center. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And just to be clear, you're satisfied with the layout on the new parking, the altered parking situation,
All
right?
right, I'm okay with it.
Everybody okay with that? All right. The next step is for us, we'll get a price for just what that's gonna cost and how that compares with tearing this building down, so.
Want to recess till like 11?
We'll make recess until 11 o'clock.
Yep.
Make a motion, we recess till 11, till the soil conservation comes in.
Second.
It's moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Is that all you got left of soil conservation?
I think so.
I think so.
They just making a report, David?
They said they have a new employee they wanted to introduce, and I don't know if they have anything to do with it or not. Probably need me then.
If that comes up, you do need to give me a holler.
Okay.
All right. Max?
Yeah.
Guys, is that, okay, we'll get started then.
You're right on time.
Yeah. That'll be fine, whatever you do. I guess you can come ahead, Soil Conservation's here to meet with us. Come on and state your name and what you're here for.
All right, I'm Ryan Ferguson. I'm the district conservationist for NRCS here in Mountain City, covering Linn County. And we're part of a 3-county management unit with Anderson and Coffee County. So, been working here since I guess started July the 6th. So, been a good 6 going on 7 months, and learning a lot about the county and all the conservation needs and the different projects that we've had in the past. It's been a good process, and looking forward to building on what we've got started. So, yep.
Have you worked for them for a while, or is this your first?
Yeah. So this is my 3rd state that I've worked with NRCS in. I grew up in the Lenexa area, went to K-State, and then shortly after I graduated, I moved to Wyoming. Worked with NRCS in the Conservation District out there. And then shortly after starting in Wyoming, I got a job offer to move to South Dakota with the agency. So was in South Dakota from 2018 through July of this year. And yeah, it's been a great experience so far. I'm happy to be closer to friends and family now. So hopefully I'll be around here in Linn County for quite a while. So
Probably need a little bit more cold weather if you're used to that.
yeah, it's been a nice trade-off. Last year by this time you couldn't get around very much up there. But we've got a little bit of snow and stuff. So this year's been good. Yep.
Welcome aboard.
Yeah.
And have anything, Rick?
Yeah, just real quick while we're on TV here, just briefly tell us, for people that are not in the farming business, what conservation, what do you provide? What do you do for the Linn County?
With NRCS, we provide conservation technical assistance to landowners, farmers, ranchers, anybody that has conservation needs on their property. And so through that, we administer a handful of programs that are administered through the Farm Bill. And so NRCS, as an agency within USDA, these various programs like EQIP, CSP, the Conservation Stewardship Program, they provide a wealth of resources to our customers with some cost share incentives to help them implement conservation-minded farming practices, grazing practices, wildlife type practices. And so at the NRCS office, we have customers come in and, you may have various needs to address soil erosion or water quality issues or grassland health. And so we help identify those with you and provide you a conservation plan to hopefully address those and improve your natural resources in the long run. So some other common practices that I've seen here in the county, a lot of terraces and waterway type projects to help control our soil erosion, as well as brush management and brush clearing to help restore pastures, and then the infrastructure stuff to set up rotational grazing systems. So those have been some of our more prevalent practices, but we're always looking to find new things to help our customers out on. So yeah, it's been a good deal.
Is there money available for the water resources as far as ponds and things right now, or?
Yeah, so year to year, we have our EQIP, the Environmental Quality Incentives Program sign up. For 2022, our application deadline ended in November, but we are still taking applications and making field visits on customers for the next fiscal year sign up that'll occur later this year. And we're always available to come out and at least help you get a game plan going. And usually it's good to do that, several months in advance of a potential cost share application. So our CSP program, the sign up for that also ended in November. But again, usually planning several months in advance of any cost share opportunity. So I'd encourage anybody interested to give us a call or stop by the office sometime. And we'll get you set up with something. So.
Sounds good. You got anything, Danny?
Nope.
Okay, well, I'm going to introduce Alex Catani. He's our new natural resource specialist. He started in November. He's going to be helping us out on all of our conservation plans. And so far, just been getting kind of acquainted with our projects and the county. So we're glad to have him on board now, and he's been a big help so far. So,
I'm sorry, what was the last name?
Catani.
Oh, Cattani.
Thank you.
You're forever in our records now.
Yep. So, yeah, go ahead.
We also wanted to invite you guys to the annual meeting, which is coming up January the 19th. It's going to be at Prairie View High School in the cafeteria, starting at 6:30 p.m.
January 19th.
Uh-huh. I have an invitation for y'all.
Okay.
Well, it's a copy of our newsletter that we had.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You guys have any other questions for us?
I don't have. You guys?
No.
Thanks for
Thank you
coming
very
in
much.
and seeing us.
Thank you.
See you. Anybody got anything else? No. I'll make a motion with, and our meeting will be 9:00 Tuesday morning because of the holiday.
Second.
Second, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned.